Okay, awesome. First, we have Coach Roderick. So who wants to get us started off with some questions? Jared and then Jake.
Hey, Aaron, just start off by talking about getting ready for this weekend and the challenges that South Florida presents.
They play a very unique scheme. It has some elements of Rocky Long, San Diego State kind of stuff. It's a unique defense for sure. They have a lot of team speed, and the last time we played these guys, they made us look really bad. I know it was a different program at the time, but we gotta. It's a team that can make you look bad if you're not ready to play, just scheme-wise.
How much does what happened before come into play? Because a lot of the guys remember and weren't happy with the performance a couple years ago. How much does that come into play, even though it is a different team and different place right now?
Yeah, it comes into play a lot. So we have a good number of our starters, the guys we're counting on, played in that game. James Empey, Clark Barrington, Jaron Hall, Baylor Romney, Neal and Gunner and Peeney, Tyler Algier played in that game. There's a lot of guys played in that game and remember how awful that felt. And, you got to respect the game. You got to respect every opponent. And these guys they have our attention. They've played two very good teams in NC State and Florida State, and then they got a good win last week. So we'll be ready.
Aaron, as you look forward here, can the performance that Jaron had the last time you played against USF translate over to anything in this game, in your opinion? Not really. I mean, other than just it was experience, game experience, that part of it. But it's a different defense, so not much there. But just the experience of playing it. The more you play, the more it adds up. The game slows down, as guys play more football. That's true at every position, but especially at QB. I'm not asking you to reveal your game plan, but it seems like each game you go in and at least in your playbook have some of what you call your specials, like your trick plays. Do you specifically pick certain plays for certain opponents, or are those just things you have in the playbook and pull them out when you need to? They're mostly just, we have a bunch of plays in our offense that we practice all the time, and they're just ready to go whenever. And they're regular plays in our offense. We don't really think of them as tricks. And we practice them every week, and they're fun, and a lot of times they score touchdowns. So we'll keep having them ready every game.
And then Norma.
Hey, Aaron. Jaron Hall mentioned at the end of in the press conference at the end of last week that he would be practicing this week. Has he been practicing this week?
Kalani is the only one that'll talk about injuries, but he's out there.
My other question regarding Jaron, Aaron, is through the first 3 weeks, what has impressed you the most about his play at that quarterback position, and what, if anything, would you like to see him improve upon going forward?
Well, he's taking good care of the ball. He had one bad decision last game, the play that everyone's been talking about where Tyler stripped the ball. That was a bad decision, and good news is that was really uncharacteristic of how he's been playing. The other interception was just, he took a shot at the end zone before the half. I didn't manage that situation well enough for him, but he took a shot on a one-on-one matchup in the end zone, threw the ball down the field, and their guy made a play. I don't even count that as a bad decision or anything. It was just unfortunate that they got the ball, but it didn't. It didn't stand out the way that the other mistake made, and the reason the other mistake stood out was just because he has not been making those mistakes. He's been taking really good care of the football, and so as long as he does that every game, we're always going to have a chance. And then if he continues to take care of the ball, then of course we possess the ball more. And I think that as he plays more, you'll see him just get better and better in the passing game. And I think, our offense will grow as a unit, and the points and that kind of stuff is going to come just with time. And so, but it starts with taking good care of the ball, and that's what he's done best.
Hey, Rod. Pretty much all my questions have been asked, but what would you say Jaren has done these first 3 weeks to prove to fans that he was worthy of that QB1 spot?
I don't know. I can't answer what the fans think, but I just think that, he's just been good at taking care of the ball, and he's been really gutsy as far as, he's made some big plays in key moments in all 3 games, and he finds a way to assert himself when we need it most, but he doesn't force it. He's been good about just picking his spots when it's time to go make a play. And then, the rest of the time he's trying to let the offense work for him and get the ball to his playmakers.
And what would be the biggest growth that you've seen in him since he last played in 2019? Obviously, took a year off, but we're going up against USF. Like, what's just the biggest difference in comparison to the 2019 game?
Yeah, you can just tell that he's in command now. When he played those couple games a couple years ago, things were happening pretty fast for him. He still played well, but he didn't have nearly the command over the full scheme that he has now. He made a whole bunch of audibles in the Utah game. He made some really nice audibles last game where he's changing the play, getting us into the right play, doing things with pass protections that are pretty advanced, and doing a great job with that stuff. And a number of our good run plays in the last 2 games were just him getting us to the run play that gave us the best chance for success. Some of those things are things he wasn't ready to do a couple of years ago, and now he is. And so they don't really show up in his stats, or maybe the fans might not notice that the, whatever 10-yard run that Tyler Algier just got was because Jaren got us into the right play, and the play that I called was not as good into the defense that they gave us. And so some of those things are kind of go unseen, but he's doing a great job.
Okay, we'll do last 2 questions from Jared and then Jake.
Aaron, I wanted to talk about points, because the bottom line is you've scored more points than your opponents. But I know the goal of the offense is to score points every time you have the football. How do you get that ramped up so the scoring is more regular?
Just got to play better, and part of it's the defenses we've played against are good. We didn't play anybody last year that was even close to the last 2 teams we played on defense. No one was even in the same world as those 2 defenses. So it's tough. It's tough to score when you're playing Arizona State and Utah. And, so in the first game, there was a lot of unknowns as well. But, we've been talking about that a lot. We can talk about how good the defenses are and make excuses, or we can just, be accountable to ourselves and each other and figure out how we can play better and play a little cleaner. And I think we've improved in every game, and I think you'll see continued improvement. And the points will come with improved execution. And I'm not panicked about it at all. I think we're right on track. And considering who we've played, I'm proud of where we stand right now.
Aaron, I wanted to ask you about your running back room. Obviously, we've seen Tyler Algier and Lopini Katoa take the vast majority of the reps, if not all of them, so far this year. Is there any concern for you that you need to have a 3rd running back ready to go in case one of them, heaven forbid, does get injured?
Yeah, we have a 3rd running back ready to go. Jackson McChesney, he's a good player. He's ready to roll. Hinckley Ropati's also a good player. He's right there as well. And just the situation hasn't called for it yet, but it's a long season, and there's a good chance we'll need one of those guys to be ready at some point, and they will be. They're doing a great job in practice. We've seen Jackson play in games before, and he's done well when he's gotten his opportunity, and no hesitation at all to play either one of those guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Awesome. Next up, we have Gunner Romney. Jared, start us off.
Gunner, I just talked to A-Rod about points, and I wanted to get your thoughts because I know the goal is always to get points, and so I can't imagine you guys are satisfied with just putting up in the 20s. How close do you feel you are to breaking out?
I think we're just right on the edge right now. I think the last couple of games we've left a lot of points on the board. And, it hasn't really hurt us yet because our defense has been playing phenomenal. But we had a conversation at the beginning of this week, and nobody on the offense is satisfied right now because we know what the capability that this offense has, and we know how many points that we can put up if we play well. And so I think we're right on the edge right now. One breakout game is all we need, and we'll be solid. So I think the offense is all kind of working towards that.
What makes the difference? What has to happen for that jump? Because the execution, like you said, it's been close. What needs to happen to just have the execution clean up in that sense?
I think it's just the consistency, the execution. You see points in games where we'll go 3 or 4 series in a row where we're driving the ball super well and we're scoring, and then you'll see some kind of lulls where we'll go a couple 3-and-outs in a row, or we'll have a couple bad series. And so I think it's just that consistency. I think we're really killing ourselves, and so I think once we get over those mistakes and we start playing together as a unit a little bit better, I think that's when it'll happen.
Matt, and then Jay.
Gunner, what was the injury you had against Arizona, and how were you able to get back to play against Utah and Arizona State?
So I had an MCL sprain is what it was diagnosed as. Initially, they thought it was going to be a lot worse. They thought I had torn it and, done some other damage to my knee. But we got the MRI back, and since there was no structural damage, really it was just a matter of dealing with pain. And at that point, I'm good. I can deal with pain as long as there's no further risk to my knee. So really just rehabbing as hard as I can and getting back to it is what helped me play these last couple games. And
you scored touchdowns in each of those games. Which touchdown was sweeter in your eyes? One of them coming against Utah, in which you guys hadn't won in a long time, and the other one coming against Arizona State, a team that you grew up around.
I think the Utah one for sure sticks out. That's one of the, if not the top touchdown I've scored in my career. Coming off of a game that I didn't even think I was going to be able to play in at the beginning of the week. It's a huge rivalry. We talk about that streak that we ended, and being able to score to really seal the game late. I think that's probably my top touchdown of my career so far.
Jay, and then Jake.
Hey, Gunner, 2 years ago, obviously Baylor came in against South Florida. I think he threw a pass completion to you for the first time. And then obviously you guys just fell a little bit short. Do you guys have any kind of extra juice for those guys coming to town because they beat you last time?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of motivation just because of the loss they handed us down there in Florida. We don't want that to happen again. This is a completely new team, but those losses where you expect to win and it kind of doesn't go your way, those ones hurt. And so we have a lot of motivation to give it back to those guys.
And then just you were having a little bit of conversations with some of those ASU DBs. I know you know them probably from high school. Anything you can share? Anything funny that was said or any exchanges? Like after you caught that long touchdown or anything?
No, not even really trash talk. I went to high school with a bunch of the DBs. I played 7-on-7 with most of the DBs there. So they're my boys. So it really wasn't trash talk. It was just kind of, messing around and joking around the whole time.
Gunner, obviously we saw your brother come into that game late and seal the game with that throw to Isaac Rex. What is it about the quarterbacks on this team? And we've heard that coaches are very confident, even guys like Jacob Conover, that allows them to come in ice cold off the bench and do what your brother did in that game.
So I think we have 3 or 4 quarterbacks that can go play at a number of other Division I programs and start. I think the depth that we have, it's no surprise that they come in because they're all confident in their abilities and they're all excellent quarterbacks. And so I think it's really no surprise that if one of them goes down, the next one just steps right up and fills the spot without even question. So I think it's just a compliment to that depth in that room that, we can have something happen to Jaron, late in the clutch game, and we'll have someone else come up and step up and make a huge play.
Awesome. Matt, last question.
How would you evaluate the wide receiver play up to this point, and maybe what's one thing that you think you guys can improve upon going forward?
I think the wide receiver play has been good, but not good enough to this point. Like I was saying earlier, we've left a lot of points on the board, and I think it comes down to really us just making those big plays. We haven't really seen a lot of those big explosive plays yet, and I think that's something that we need to work on going forward is just coming down with those 50-50 balls or creating more explosive plays with yards after catch or stuff like that. I think just the explosive plays is something that we all need to work on.
Awesome. Thanks, Gunner.
Thank you.
All right, Harry. See you, brother.
Okay, last up we have Harris LaChance, who has some questions for us. All right, Jared and then Jake.
Harris, the offensive line is the engine for the offense, and we're talking about points with Gunner and with Coach Roderick. What does the offensive line feel like they need to do to be able to, get over that hump and maybe, put a couple more touchdowns on the board in the upcoming games?
That's a good question. I'd say continue to run off the ball hard. We've been putting a big emphasis on just owning the trenches every play, and that's what we're doing. And also completing our assignments every single play. No MAs and great technique, and we're just tuning it up right now, man.
A-Rod said that the last 2 defenses you faced with Utah and Arizona State, and even the uncertainty of what Arizona was going to bring, were tougher than anything you saw last year, just because of the skill and the ability. How did you guys come out of that? Because those physical games, that can really pound on an offensive line.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good battle. I think when you play in the trenches, you got to expect that, man. And you're always a little sore. Always a little sore after the games, but we've got great rehab facilities over here, and we're taking care of ourselves and getting enough sleep, like Coach Kalani always says, and it's good. You're sore for sure, but that's a good feeling,
Harris, I wanted to ask you, obviously you've had both Joe Tukuafu as well as Connor Pay playing alongside you on that right side at right guard. Is it hard to get into rhythm when you have guys switching that position, or do you feel like, either one were just fine?
Yeah. I love those guys, both of them, and to tell you the truth, I don't even know exactly who's in, and that's a great thing for an offensive line. Is because we both of them know their assignments. We know what we're doing, and we're running off the ball hard. You know what I mean? And so it's great to know that no matter who's in, we're getting after it the same. And I've loved that.
You're wearing that Ohana X shirt, I noticed, and I just wanted to ask you, in terms of how name, image, and likeness is been distracted off you, or have you noticed any distractions for your teammates as you guys are both obviously trying to balance winning on the field, but also this is an opportunity for you guys to make money as well?
I don't feel like it's been a distraction at all, actually. I was worried at the beginning that it would be, but we've got some great guys on this team who are just great-minded, you know what I mean? I mean, everybody here knows our purpose and is keeping the main thing. I think it could be easy to try and make some moolah, on the side, but nobody's been like that, man. I mean, we're all really focused on winning the game, and I feel like We're taking it day by day. We're grinding in practice. Also, I don't think there's like too much time to really be focused on making too much money right now. It's, you know what I mean? I feel like people kind of need to reach out to us because we are freaking busy over here, man. We're grinding, but it's a good thing. It's a great thing.
Can I
Yeah.
just ask? We saw Jaron Hall. Advocating for you guys on the offensive line to get an NIL deal. And we saw a certain barbecue joint nearby. Has that been worked out yet?
Well, I've talked to him a little bit. Yeah, that was awesome when he posted that. It's great to get some love, right? Like obviously we want some love, and it will all work out. I have faith, you know, it'll all work out when it works out, you know. And that was dope of him. It was funny because we always joke about it, you know what I mean? Like it's a funny thing to joke about. It just makes more dynamics of like, oh, who's making money, and it's honestly it's all fun. It's all fun.
Hey, Harris, last year you were kind of a swing guy, if I remember right, and this year you're pretty entrenched at right tackle. How has that kind of helped you develop a better rhythm and a better, more success for your game?
Oh, I've loved it. Yeah, last year I rotated on right and then left after Brady was done. But learning from those guys was best, man. I mean, learning from those older guys was awesome, and also playing with them, rotating with them in all those games. It really set me up, and now I'm just stuck at right, and I absolutely love it. It's like I feel solid now.
So did you chop off your flow there? You had a pretty good flow going.
Yeah, I sure did. I sure did. Coach Kalani said, we got to tighten it up around here, man. And we got to do every little thing right. And I did. And, you got to buy in all the way. So I did.
Looks good.
Appreciate it.
Last question.
I was just about to say the same thing, Harris. I was wondering if you got a little bit of a little high and tight there going on, but you rock it well enough. So good work. Your old cut was nice too, but your new one's all right as well. But I was just wondering though, because I don't like using the terms like let down and looking ahead and that kind of thing. And you guys have done a really good job of kind of keeping the focus on each opponent each week and moving on to the next one and whatnot. But it's hard to deny that the last two wins in particular have been really emotional. I mean, we've seen, the crowd on the field after games and the videos in the locker rooms and the dancing and that kind of thing. How do you guys kind of keep the emotion of celebrating a couple of big wins, but not coming back down, I guess, too low for a team like South Florida that maybe doesn't have kind of the same outside hype of like an Arizona State or a Utah or that kind of thing?
Oh, I think it's in our mindset from the beginning. I think from the beginning we've said, really no highs and no lows. You want to keep it steady, and that's what we prepare for every opponent. Every week that's the most important game of our lives, and that's how we do it, man. You have to take things play by play, day by day. So and then when we win, it's freaking awesome. It's the best game. Like I said, it's like every week that's the biggest game. And then you can look at it. I'll look at it maybe later in a couple of years and be like, oh yeah, those were big games and these weren't as big or whatever. But I feel right now, I think we all feel that mindset where it's like every game, no matter who it is our biggest game this week.
Awesome. Thanks, Harris.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, I think that's all from us. Do you guys have any questions for me? Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys.
I'm not sure the question, but the answer is 42.
There you go.
Jay gets that one. Thanks, Keon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.